The Nike Vomero 18 150 plus miles in this big stack of a shoe. What is our current status report, and how is it going to fare in the long run? Let's get into it. So before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're subscribed, watching the content. Thanks so much. Love you guys a lot. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Strava for all sorts of other updates and things like that. So without further ado, let's begin. Specs of the shoe somewhere up here. Let's go check out what the outsoles of this shoe look like. And as we're kind of perusing them, no, you're not going crazy. We did end up skipping the 100 plus mile review of this shoe, which is, I guess, in my opinion, a fairly critical milestone in most shoe reviews, right? And the only reason I bring that up is, again, you have a good assessment of where the shoe sort of stands at that time, but because of some work, travel, and now I have a small amount of breathing room before the Memorial Day Soldier Field 10-miler race this weekend, I could sit down, record a couple of videos, get them out to you guys, and yeah, then the grind continues on with IRL work, running, training, and things of that sort. So yeah, sorry about that. Meant to get the 100 plus miles. You get 150 instead. Let's talk about what's going on in the outsole. A lot of expected wear and tear from the shoe. So mind you, about 85% is on the outdoor surfaces, 15% on treadmill, contingent to whatever's going on in the workout. In my case, all of the wear, again, is on the anterior side of the shoes as expected. Not a whole lot of beat down on the pronated side of the shoe, so the interior pieces. Same thing with the heel, nothing too bad at this time. Just a lot of wear in the central portion and the anterior side. That includes the foam, which is sort of taken a beating as well, minus all the dirt that I'm just not going to touch. Don't know where the surface has been at this time. The red rubber pieces have been holding up so far. They look like in their good shape. But the lugs on the anterior side, I think for both shoes, are not looking hot. Oh yeah, even in my right foot, that's some critical wear going on right there. The heel is in the mostly in good shape. The rubber, again, or the foam stack, the ZoomX, is also kind of in the same category. There's no major tear on the outside of the shoe. The outsoles, yeah, the outsoles are fine. The mesh on the upper material doesn't seem to have any sort of wear. It doesn't crease in any sort of place. It's not uncomfortable. It's in good shape overall, I think, at this time. Now, let's address a couple of the cons that I have with this shoe at this time. One of which is probably going to be the lock of the shoe, right? It's mostly to do with the shoelaces being sort of thick and running through the eyelids the way they are, and you almost never get the same fit twice in a row. Even when you have like a good sort of fit, it's hard to get it again just because of the sizing of the shoelaces. I wish they were a little bit smaller, or the eyelids in the shoes could be just, a little bit bigger in this case. It's a problem, right? And I can't get a good lock out of the shoe half the time, and I have to like stop and retie it or tighten in some places. And if it gets too tight, that becomes a problem. Not a major issue. It gets really annoying fairly quickly. That's something I'm noticing again with the current state of the shoe. The second thing, which I don't know is if it's just because I'm more exhausted right now, or it's it's race season and my recovery runs are actually feeling more recovery. But in a lot of instances, it feels like the foam doesn't respond to me well in like shorter workouts. Maybe again, it's a mindset thing. Maybe because I know right now it's taper mode and I'm going like 3 to 4 miles a day just to sort of lay it back, get prepared for a max effort 10-mile run, that whenever I put in work in these shoes, it just feels so much heavier to run in these things. And it's hard to say exactly what's going on. Don't hold me to it, but my original assessment was maybe that the ZoomX foam on this shoe is slowly falling apart. And maybe you guys can, sanity check this for me, whether you do some research on it or somebody else said something that I may have missed. Is this recycled ZoomX? Do we know that? If this is a brand new compound, I'm very nervous. But if this is some sort of recycled ZoomX like we had in the Zoomfly 4 and the Zoomfly 5, then it's sort of expected that the wear would come around as quickly as it is right now. But that being said, in the longer workouts where I have to run a little bit slower or tone my pace back, the shoe has been consistent. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, but when I try to push it into a different category for like a shorter run or a slightly faster workout, I'm not getting the response I'm looking for, right? And at that point, again, the foam is cooperating well with the rubber. It's just this area of the shoe is going to be interesting to observe as we go along. It's not trimmed out too badly, but it's going to get to a point where I'm going to be expecting some foam impact directly to the ground. And it's not like the shoe already doesn't have that impact. I don't think the midfoot, forefoot area of the shoe is supposed to be striking that piece of the ground. You know what I mean? You might just lose some of the juice that this shoe would have otherwise produced from hitting the ground. Any sort of rebounds, I guess you could say, with the addition of that rubber compound. I think the same thing could be said in the left foot as well. It's not nearly as bad, but I'm curious now as to why the right foot is getting more beat up than the left foot, and also why the top area of the shoe is a little bit more beat up than the right foot's anterior side. They're almost kind of identical now that I look at it. It's just the left foot is consistently looking a little bit better. But I think we already noticed that my right foot seems to go a little more anterior. This one goes a little bit more midfoot central strike. And with that being said, the middle area, the red portion, is just fine as a result. In terms of other fit items with the shoe, I don't think I was slamming the toe box in this one. I know it might have been a concern for a little while. I think that was just a fitting issue with, again, the tongue, the heel cup of the shoe, the lips of the shoe itself. Just there's a lot of cushion, so it's comfortable, but it's just hard to get that perfect fit, which, again, we've already discussed. But that's just, I think, the major con running for the shoe is that it's a little bit too comfortable and not fit enough. And I guess the last thing we can discuss is stability. So again, with a ZoomX compound this thick across the shoe, it's fair to say that when you walk in the shoe, there's a lot of instability where like there's a lot of shakiness. Now when you run, I think your strikes are a little bit more precise and that wobbling doesn't really occur. It's just when you're walking in this particular shoe, you kind of sense that wobble and you're like overcorrecting at times for what otherwise shouldn't be a shoe that is a walking piece, but rather a running piece to consider. So not a walking shoe, it's a running shoe, it's a running recovery shoe, not a walking recovery. Let's just make that clear, right? So overall assessment at 150 plus miles, I'm going to monitor the foam at this time. I just don't know if it's wearing out quicker than I thought it was, or it's just a case of I'm a little bit more exhausted with mixing work plus travel, plus work travel, plus tapering off for a run, or just any sort of hard workout follow-ups, that the shoe performance feels like it's a little bit less. But that being said, a lot of my speed workouts have been in the Zoom Fly 6, and that might explain why transitioning from a shoe like that, it's a little bit stiffer and has that nylon carbon plate, jumping into this, why I would expect to lose that speed, and why I shouldn't really complain about it because, well, this is the recovery shoe, right? So we'll monitor that. We're going to try to figure out how to get the proper fit in this shoe in the upper with all this cushioning that exists with it. There's got to be like some cheat sheet or cheat formula I can use, but I'll figure it out this time around while we're at this 150 mile mark and see if we can maximize the utility from the shoe. But other than that, I think we'll leave it there for now. So if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, let me know in the comments below. Any criticisms about the shoe, any criticisms about the video, you know where to find me. You know where to send it. And yeah, I guess we'll leave it at that for now. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.